Thousands of people flock to hear Jesus. It is a reference to the people's need for God's truth and revelation. This crowd also represents the whole humanity in terms of urgent discovery of God, justice, truth, and love. A humanity that is full of corrupt, hypocritical, masked, and proud. Jesus Christ represents himself as the one who will free this humanity, offering him victory over everything that destroys man, especially hypocrisy. From the Greek hypokrein or hypocrisia, a type of poison that destroys the dignity and life of the other. The word hypocrisy was born on stage. The actors represented themselves as other people. Later, it came to designate false and pretended people. Well, because of the hypocrisy of some, thousands crowd there before Jesus, wanting only to fulfill their dreams of freedom and peace, justice and mercy. Jesus began to speak first to his disciples. They need to be identified with the Master. They must guard against the heaven of the Pharisees. That is, they must not be hypocrites, grave diggers of truth and solidarity, eclipsing God and God's revelation. They must not appear more than the Master. Nothing that is attached to the Pharisees' way of thinking in the form of government should be part of the life of the disciples of the truth. The disciples must therefore proclaim with courage and clarity the truth about God and men. They must proclaim the teachings of Jesus through life deeply linked to the greater good, to the Master, and totally turned to the Father, without the internal bounds of hypocrisy, and in the strength of the Holy Spirit. The disciples must announce the word of salvation which they were formed. There is nothing hidden that will not be revealed, and there is nothing hidden that will not be known. The truth of being is by nature a manifestation of yourself. Existence is not hidden. Existing is already an expression of being in everything it does. That's right. Also in doing it is manifestation. Therefore, nothing that is man and nothing that he does will be veiled. Everything he is and does exists, and as such manifests. The truth of being and doing tends to be known. It is their nature. That's why there is no point in hiding it. Even the lie is not maintained, because the truth makes it evident, that is, unveiled. It is useless, as in the case of today's text, to act through mask, falsehood, pretense, because of all this will not support the force of a revealing existence, that is, of a natural force that drives towards the necessary discovery of the truth. Do not be afraid. The disciple fears God alone, despising the life of appearances, that is, abandoning worldly formalities. He fearlessly surrenders to the reality willed by God, not out of fear of God, but out of love and respect for Him. Fearing God does not mean being afraid of Him, but fear of losing Him, of hurting Him, of being unfaithful to Him. The school of faith of Jesus teaches truth, love, justice, solidarity, mercy, courage, etc. Everything that must be put in place for the sake of the salvation of the other is part of the Masters of Nazareth's formative plan. In addition to the oral teaching, the disciples participated in the most eloquent lessons of the testimony of the life of experience of Jesus, who, in order to carry out the will of his Abba, did not fear the world, men, and death. His life was always yes, then it was yes, no when it was no, in everything. He was always yes to the Father and to the salvation of his. With this witness, the disciples are invited from the Pharisaic leaven to live the gospel of courageously and trust absolutely in God's action in the most difficult moments of their lives, freely in the light of the cross and resurrection, to bring the light to the truth hidden in many hearts, joyfully teach the world to stand before the Lord, who remembers all of him, for none of them is forgotten. God wants his work salvation. Glory to you, Lord.